as we are currently gearing up for the United States versus Bosnia game here in the United States in the San Francisco Bay Area. I think a lot of people are curious about the different trajectories or pathways through this World Cup that the U.S. could take to win it all. So I just wanted to take a look at some of these simulations to see what things could look like if some of these powerhouse teams prevail like we expect them to, and what might happen if we have some toss-ups and what that will look like for the United States. So Belgium just took the victory over Senegal in overtime with a really awesome goal. So congrats to Belgium. They have advanced on to play against the victor of the United States and Bosnia. So taking a look at this, let's since we're Americans here and we love the USA, we're patriots. Nothing wrong with these other guys, but we're gonna say that the U.S. is gonna win tonight. So assuming that the U.S. wins tonight, it looks like we would go on to play Belgium. Now, I guess some people might want to take a look at Belgium's stats and compare them to the United States. And so here we've got the official brackets pulled up. So we can actually just take a look here at the United States stats and see how they're doing. Righty. So yeah, as you can see, it looks like the United States has 8 total goals if you consider all the goals scored by all of our players, and we have conceded 4 goals. So that gives us a solid goal differential of 4, but nothing to write home about. But yeah, so goal differential I think is a pretty big indicator here, because that's just going to show basically our goals for, goals against ratio. All right, yeah, so taking a look here at our opponent Belgium, it seems like they have 6 goals for them and 2 goals conceded. So they have the same goal differential, but it does look like we have scored a few more goals and they have conceded a few less goals. So that's interesting, and I guess their final points tally ends with a 5. So that does give the United States a slight edge in terms of the statistics here. But clearly with soccer games, we don't always want to go with statistics. But, since we love the United States, let's just say that we get that win over Belgium. Okay, so that puts us in a pretty cool spot here, because now we got to look at these other teams and consider how they're going to do. And so, I am a big fan of Spain because I've seen them play a lot, and I saw them win in 2010 with my great best friend, or good old buddy Henry. So I'm going to say that those guys are going to take the dub there over Austria. They've got a lot of folks from Barcelona and Madrid, so I think those are really awesome players. I think they're going to do a great job. And so then we're going to have another match, Croatia versus Portugal. Croatia. And honestly, I think both are fantastic teams, but I also have some friends that love Ronaldo, and they would kill me if I gave that win to Croatia, just over speculation. So now, that being said, we're looking at a possible July 6th matchup, Portugal and Spain, ultimate rivals. That will be awesome. And, I think Ronaldo is an awesome player and Portugal is an awesome team. But if I'm being real, I love the Spaniards, and I love my friend Henry for putting me onto the good old España soccer team with David Villa, Puyol, Fernando Torres, and all those good OGs from back in the day. What an amazing squad. Can't forget Iniesta, giving us that capitalized win in the FIFA World Cup 2010 in South Africa. What a time to remember. I'm going to have to say this one's going to go to Spain. Okay, now, that being said, Spain versus the United States on July 10th, I would love to see it. That would just make my day. That would be such an epic game. Now, before we go any further with the United States here in this tournament, I think it's important that we take a look at some of these other teams here to see how they're going to do. So yeah, let's jump into some of the other side of this tournament. Okay, so let's start with Argentina, because everybody and their mother loves Lionel Messi. I mean, who doesn't? What an absolute GOAT. So yeah, we're going to say Argentina's going to get that win. I don't see them losing anytime soon. And then we got Australia versus Egypt. Now, this one is kind of a toss-up for me. I would really probably have to base this one on stats, purely because I haven't seen these two squads play too much, and I don't know what their team dynamics look like. So why don't we just jump back over here, check out Australia, and we'll see how they're doing in their group standings. So it looks like they're in the same group as the United States. They've got 2 goals for them and 2 goals against them. Now, see, that's kind of a tough one, because if we look over here at Egypt, it's looking like they've got 5 goals for them and 3 goals against them. So once again, it's seeming like pretty similar goal differential, but not necessarily, right? they're zero. They've got two goals for them, 2 goals against them. Their goal differential 0. That's not the best. If you compare that to Egypt over here, who's got a 2-point goal differential, I'd say statistically that gives Egypt a little bit of an edge. And also, gotta give a quick shout out to my buddy Abdallah. I love you, and I think Egypt's probably gonna get that win. But that one, once again, is probably going to be a toss-up, so we'll have to see. And so now, yeah, let's take a look at this group down here. I've seen a lot of folks out and about wearing Colombia uniforms, but I also know that Ghana eliminated the United States in 2010. So they are a force to be reckoned with. I mean, we will see. We will see. I will have to award this one to Colombia, though, just because I've got a feeling that they might have a slight edge over Ghana, just based on the peer support that I've seen around in the Northern Virginia and DC area for Colombia. A lot of love for that team. And so over here, we're taking a look at Switzerland and Algeria. And statistically, I believe Switzerland, I think, won their group. So if we find the group that Switzerland was in, I would have to double check that. Group B, right here, you can see they won that group, and they will be going up against a third-place seed. And so because of that, I think that most likely we will see Switzerland taking that win over Algeria. However, I know Algeria is a pretty solid squad. I've also seen some people wearing Algeria uniforms out here. So that being said, I think it would probably be ideal to take a look at their stats as well and just see where Algeria stands in terms of the other groups. And so that's another really important thing that I would like to check out is the third place standings here. And so this is a really important table. I feel like most people aren't really aware of this, but I believe this is how they select the third place seeds for the first place seeds to play against. And it also basically shows their stats and compares them with the other third place teams. And so from here you can see that of all of the third place teams, Algeria is currently ranked 6th, but these are all really close margins, so it's not really much of a ranking here. It's just putting them in one of these third place brackets. So I think that one could honestly be quite a toss-up, but I think Switzerland's probably going to take the win just because of their stats. All right, so now advancing past this, once again, I know Lionel Messi's got a lot of love for him. He is the absolute GOAT, and I've got to say, I'm sorry, I think that they will most likely prevail against Egypt. And now for this game here, if we are saying that Switzerland and Colombia will be the teams that are playing, if we look at those stats for Switzerland and Colombia really quick, we know that Switzerland just won Group B, so you can see they've got a 4-point goal differential. That's pretty good. And so if we compare that to their competitor, Colombia, then we can figure out exactly who might win this game just based on pure stats alone, even though it's going to be kind of hard to tell. So they've got a 3-point goal differential. Now, see, here's one of those moments where the stats would tell you that Switzerland's probably going to win this game. But based on the love that I've seen for Colombia in the Northern Virginia area, honestly, I think Colombia might get it. I could see this being an Argentina-Colombia game. I think that would be really epic, July 11th out in Kansas City, and I think there would be a lot of people that would love to see that. So yeah, I think that's where we're looking with this one. And so now moving on up here, Norway, we've got this Haaland guy who's just absolutely awesome, super funny, scores bicycle kicks, all jokingly, just a total beast. But then we've also got Brazil, and they seem like they've been doing fantastic so far in this World Cup. And I know they have one of Barcelona's squad members, and I think he is currently injured. So we will have to double check to see the status of this player right now, because I think that this dude is awesome, and I think that if he is playing in this next game, he's going to be amazing. But there has been some news about injuries. He recently had a thigh scan, and I think he was out. So, or maybe it was hamstring, something like that, something in his leg. I think he pulled a muscle, but hopefully he will be back. I'm not going to click into any of these because I don't want to bombard everybody with all the advertisements. But yeah, I'm hoping we see this gentleman back out on the pitch here soon to go up against Norway. Now that would be a real awesome match. And this one is really tough for me. I mean, I will really have to go look at the stats because I want to give this one to Brazil, but based on some of the playing that I've seen from Milan, I think this one could be a toss-up too. But looking at the stats here, let's just check it out. So Brazil, we've got a 6-point goal differential. That's really good. Now, if we compare that to Norway, if we can find their group, they have a 1-point goal differential. Ooh, yeah, that's not great. So it's kind of seeming like their goalkeeper might need to step it up a little bit. No offense to their goalkeeper. I'm sure he's doing a great job and everything. But yeah, that's kind of a rough goal differential to compare with the powerhouse Brazil that's got 6 goals. And what I know about Brazil and what I've seen Brazil do in the past, yeah, let's go ahead and just give this one to Brazil. I think there's some people out there that might be upset at me for doing that to our boy Haaland, but look, like this is Brazil we're talking about here. All right, so now here's another really interesting match that's going to be really difficult for me to make a prediction on, because England and Mexico, I mean, come on, we gotta love both of those squads. I don't want to make a prediction on either of these because I want them both to prevail. And so this is a really tough one for me. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We're going to let stats decide who's going to win Mexico versus England. Let's take a look. And so let's go ahead and see where Mexico's at here. They've got a 6-point goal differential. They have yet to be scored on. Now, that is kind of an achievement in just getting through the group stage without conceding a single goal. Got to give props to Mexico for that. But then, yeah, taking a look down here at Group L with England, they're pretty good. You got 6 goals for them. They've only conceded 2. And so if we compare that to Mexico, they've got 6 goals for them, but they've conceded none. So it seems like the goalkeeper for Mexico is doing a fantastic job. And so, like I said, we're just going to award this one purely based off stats. That's going to Mexico. To give us a Brazil versus Mexico game. Now, wouldn't that be crazy? Okay, now that we've got this side filled in, let's go take another look over here at this top left corner. And you know what? Do I even really have to... I shouldn't make any assumptions because, you know, Paraguay did just eliminate Germany. But I'm sorry, I got a feeling you're not going to be doing that to Mbappe. And now taking a look here at Canada and Morocco, I want to say Canada has the better stats, but that's just my guess. Why don't we go ahead and fact check that? You know, it looks like Canada's got a 5-point goal differential. That's pretty solid. And yeah, so comparing that to their opponents, we can see that Canada versus Morocco. Where did you go, Morocco? Their goal differential is only 3. So it seems likely that Canada will prevail. But once again, don't know too much about these two squads. Just know that Canada is doing better statistically. Now, looking at this, Canada and France. Oh boy, what a rivalry. I know that there's a lot of French speakers up in Canada. So I think that match might tear a lot of folks in two. I think that will be a really tough one for a lot of people to watch. But if we're being real, Mbappe seems like he's on track to be a world legend. So we're going to go ahead and say France is going to advance there. Now, this one's really tough. Spain and the United States, I'd say, you know, let's go ahead and jump in on the stats on this because I love talking about Spain and I love talking about the United States. So let's take a look at their stats. You know, Spain, their opening match was kind of a tough one for them, but it seems like they're doing pretty solid, right? They've got a 5-point goal differential, and they have also conceded no goals. So that's huge for Spain. And so if we compare that to the United States, I think Spain might have us. We've got 8 goals for us, but we've conceded 4. So yeah, you know, time will tell with this one. They've actually got us in the goal differential, but only by a slim margin. So this is a tough one, and it could be a toss-up. And you know, it might even help to actually take a look at the squads here and really analyze how some of these players are scoring goals, because we've seen Balogun just do absolutely phenomenal. And I think he is really going to help the United States out in this match if they do end up playing against the Spaniards. But this one's probably going to be really close, if anything. I could see this one going 0-0, 1-1 through the whole game, and then maybe ending in PKs. But honestly, I don't want to make any bold predictions about where we're at because this is purely just speculation, and this match still might not even happen with either of these two teams. But just based off of the teams that I've been looking at, I have to say that Spain will most likely win that game. But because I am an American citizen, I'm going to say that Balogun comes out on top and pulls us through into a game against the French. Now, wouldn't that just be super epic? Oh my goodness. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here at the other side to see where we would go from there. Now, if we have Lionel Messi with Argentina against Colombia, I mean, this one could get really close, but we all know how Messi plays and how he somehow just is able to to transcend above everyone else on the field and score like some kind of god from above. So honestly, I think that would probably end up being Argentina there. Now, Brazil and Mexico. Now, this is a really, really tough one because we've seen how well Mexico's doing. We've seen how well Brazil's doing. So, like, once again, we can compare those statistics here. I think we can get them both on the same page. So, we've got Mexico with, 0 goals against them. And Brazil, they have a goal against them, but they have scored one more goal. So, once again, these two seem very evenly matched. They are 6-6 goal differential. It's a total toss-up on that one. I couldn't even really make a prediction on this one. I think that's a game like it would be with Spain versus the United States. I think it would probably be really close, and there's just a lot of factors and variables that are really just up to happenstance in the moment. So honestly, this is a really tough one. This is it's hard for me to say this, but I just honestly I think it would be cool. Brazil, you guys have a lot of World Cup wins. And I think Mexico has let's see how many World Cup wins does Mexico have? I wish I had somebody here to tell me this. But yeah, we'll go ahead and check this really quick. They have never won a World Cup. So yeah, I'm sorry, but Mexico and Brazil, I think Brazil's a great squad, and they've got one of my favorite players over there from Barcelona. And I want to give the win to Brazil. I think, honestly, they might get the win. But this is another one of those situations where I would love to see the underdog take that victory. That, I think, would be awesome. If this is what we're looking at for the end of the tournament, I would be so happy and content with that. I think this would be so epic. The energy in these countries would just be so alive. It would be so cool to see. And so, now, here we are. Now, let's take this one back from Mbappe really quick just to show you how crazy this would be. Imagine in FIFA World Cup 2026, we've got Canada, USA, and Mexico all at the end. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy? But yeah, no. Let's be realistic here. I think Mbappe is going to get that one. I'm saying let's be realistic. Let's leave it like this for right now, just to see how the final might look. Okay. Do we really want a repeat of the last World Cup, guys? Because that's what it looks like is about to happen. I'm just saying. That's what it looks like is about to happen. But, if we're going to be optimistic about some new teams getting the victory, wouldn't this be insane? Now, this is one thing my father mentioned to me. I think we would all love to see this game. I think a lot of people would love to see this game. And I think things would get super tense, but I think at the end of the night, everybody would be partying and having an amazing time together. And it would bring both teams together. I think it would be really cool. And so, yeah, I'm tempted to leave it at that, but I want to just go ahead and be absolutely fully realistic about what I think is actually going to happen. So let's take these things back and just really try and make an accurate assessment based on some of the other records and stuff in here. So all right, if I'm being real, I as much as I want Mexico to win this game, I think it's probably going to go to Brazil. And then over here on this side, as much as I want the United States to win this game, I think it's probably going to go to Spain. So I think these might be the remaining teams that we end up seeing. But, all of that could change. With anything different in one of these early stage matches, any of this stuff can shift. These are definitely, not absolutes or anything like that. These are just, my guesses in things, that I would consider based on previous World Cups and matches that I've seen with my friends. And by all means, I am not an expert. There's people out there that are making much better predictions than I am, I'm sure. But yeah, no, I mean, it seems like we're probably going to have Mbappe in the final. As much as I love Spain, as much as I want to give that to them. And then, I mean, this hurts because, yeah, we've got Argentina over here. I mean, yeah, even if you swap out Mexico and the United States, it still seems like these two might take it. But, let's take another step back and just see what happens if we get some kind of crazy toss-up. I know there's a lot of people that want to see Norway come through and play against Messi. I think that would be a really great game, too. So that would be interesting if Norway somehow managed to eliminate the world champion Lionel Messi to get to the final. That would be cool. I could totally see them playing against Spain. I could see that being a pretty awesome match. And so, yeah, no, I mean, this could really go all sorts of different ways. It's just really fun to speculate. So if any of you all are interested in trying this out, this is a free website that I found online. It's called fifaschedule.com. Go show them some love. I think this is all open source or something like that. It seems like somebody made this with some AI. Pretty cool stuff. So thank you to them for making this. And but the game is starting in 5 minutes. So yeah, I'm going to go grab a beer and watch the game. Thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody.